If you're making the move to Austin, Texas, I bet you're hearing about the same areas over and over again. You know, Leander, Georgetown, Dripping Springs. But what if I told you there were a few zip codes right around Austin that barely made the headlines? Yet they're growing fast with tons of things to do. They're packed with character, and they still offer great value. Today, I'm breaking down 3 zip codes near Austin that no one's really talking about. 3 zip codes that you absolutely should be considering if you're relocating to Austin. And as I always love doing, in zip code number 2, I'm gonna reveal a hidden gem restaurant, a spot that so many people don't know about, has the most unique food, and is so delicious, so stay tuned for that. All right, we're kicking it off in 78748, South Austin, just south of Slaughter Lane, running across Manchac. Probably wondering, what's he doing? Why is he running? Well, this area is surrounded everywhere you look. There's greenbelt, there's parks, playgrounds, trails. If you like outdoors, this is the spot for you. We got access to a couple HEBs close by, to South Park Meadows, and you're about 20 minutes from downtown Austin. So why is 78748 often overlooked? Well, when people look South Austin, they often jump to neighborhoods like Circle C, a very desirable neighborhood, but with median sales price in the high 700s and low 800,000s, or maybe Shady Hollow, or they skip Austin altogether and go straight down to Buda and Kyle, ignoring the 78748 zip code. But you may be shocked when you hear where you could land budget-wise in this area. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a stat breakdown of each of the zip codes in this video. And hopefully that'll give you a lot of insight and maybe exactly what you need to figure out which of these areas is right for you. So what makes these 78748 zip codes so desirable? Well, let's start with older neighborhoods that feel established with big shaded trees, tons of trails, parks, playgrounds, such as the neighborhood that I'm in right now, which if you want a good deal, I'm gonna share why now might be the best time to buy in this specific neighborhood. More on that in just a second. So I'm gonna break down a few of the popular neighborhoods in the 78748 zip code for you so you can get an idea of what to expect, especially price-wise. So as you can see, we got a house over here for sale, lots of for sale signs around, and kind of the style that you see, a lot of these mature trees, kind of that 70s, or sorry, the 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s look is what you're gonna get in all 3 of these. But Tanglewood Forest is the first one. Now this is just gonna be north of Slaughter Lane. There is a small section just south of Slaughter Lane, but if you want the quickest, easy access to Slaughter to go east or west toward I-35 or Mopac, Tanglewood Forest might be for you. The median sales price in there is right around 500,000, and as of this summer, 2025, you're looking at around 4 months of inventory. So things are starting to creep up there as far as, are we in a seller's market or are we shifting toward a balanced market? Then we've got to mention Olympic Heights. Now this is a neighborhood that's just south of Slaughter Lane along Manchac. And one really cool thing about Olympic Heights is it's right near all of the bars and restaurants that I'm going to talk about in a second that planted in this area, making it to where you really don't have to go downtown to have tons of entertainment options. Now that's good news. Here's even better news. Still around 4 months of inventory, kind of like in Tanglewood Forest, but median sales price in Olympic Heights, you're looking closer to $300,000 to $400,000 range. So a lot more affordable options in Olympic Heights, and still similar style house to this with some amenities. But remember I told you there's a neighborhood that right now might be the best time? Well, let me give you more on that. All right, the next neighborhood that you have to check out in 78748 is called Barrowly Ranch, as you can see behind me. And this neighborhood is essentially built around Barrowly Ranch Park, which is 300 acres of protected green space. If you're a mountain biker, if you're someone who just loves being outdoors, hiking, walking through trails, like this place is like no other. This is like a dream scenario for people that like being outside. So I'm gonna throw some stats on the screen. And as you can see, around this time last year and as early as about 3 months ago, there was basically no inventory, nothing for sale in Barrowly Ranch. Well, fast forward to summer of 2025, and over the last 3 months, we've seen inventory shoot up as much as 8+ months of inventory. Now, there's still not a ton of homes for sale, but when you look at how fast homes are selling in here relative to the active listings, this could be a great time to get a deal when sellers are dealing with a lot more competition than they're used to. So while the neighborhoods I just showed you are 3 older, more established neighborhoods, there is a new construction option, a neighborhood being built right now that's in a small sliver of 78748, and that's the Estancia neighborhood. And that leads me into, if you don't subscribe to this channel, be sure and do so, because in addition to lists like this in this video, Once or twice a month, I tour new construction neighborhoods to share the latest builder deals, the latest incentives, and a lot of times new neighborhoods that are coming out. We get in before you'll see them anywhere else. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the latest developments and new neighborhoods coming to the ATX. All right, so hands down, one of the best spots about this zip code is what's right behind me. So there are so many places for food, entertainment, live music that they've added along this area, along the Manchac corridor over the last few years, that's really made it such an amazing alternative to going to downtown if you want to get out. So places like Armadillo Den, Luster Pearl South, South Austin Beer Garden, this place, Drifters Coffee and Cocktails, and the Pickle Hub, which is right behind me. It's all the same thing. A few pickleball courts, there's an arcade over there, so many spots. And look, you're outdoors, there's kid games, there's food trucks, literally everything you want in this area. And one of the big draws why, if you have kids or if you're single and just want to have something social to do, be out and about, this is such a great area for you. So all these spots feel very Austin, but again, in this zip code, you're at a fraction of the price from neighborhoods like Shady Hollow and Circle C. All right, we're making our way up north to the 78723 zip code for our next most overlooked neighborhoods in the Austin area. So where are we exactly? Well, we're near the Mueller area, which is just north of MLK. It's east of I-35 and then kind of in between where 290 and 183 meet. Now, the reason I chose this zip code is because there's a couple of very unique neighborhoods that I'm gonna share in just a minute. But why I love this pocket so much, you're about 10 to 15 minutes from downtown Austin, but still so close to a lot of cool little local restaurants, local shops. I'll break all of those down, and really close to the Mueller trails, Mueller shopping, the lake park out there, and something that people do, the locals do on Sundays that I will share in just a second. So why is this zip code often overlooked? Well, people usually hear Mueller and immediately say, no, I don't want to live there. I don't want a master plan community. But again, there's so much more to this zip code that you need to consider. And here's the best part. Mueller is often way more expensive than the homes that I'm going to show you. And these have way more character. They're way more unique. If that's something you're looking for to get a little bit more of that Austin vibe. All right, so why is 78723 so desirable? Well, two of my favorite neighborhoods in this zip code are University Hills and Windsor Park. And a couple of really cool things to consider, depending on when you're watching this video, as of summer 2025, we're looking at around 6 months of inventory in this pocket. So if you're looking for a deal, if you're looking for something that's shifted a little bit more toward a buyer's market, this might be the spot for you. And another fun fact is that this area is consistently toward the top of the list when it comes to permits pulled for renovations. You see, similar to the house behind me, so many of these mid-century ranch-style homes that have been remodeled in the area. So they keep the character, but give it a new modern feel. In University Hills and Windsor Park, many homes were built in the 1960s and 1970s. But that doesn't mean you won't find some new construction sprinkled here and there. As a matter of fact, it is very common to find a house maybe with some turquoise in it, maybe with some flamingos in the front yard, right next to a brand new construction home with an ADU built in the back. And while you can easily land in the $600,000 and $700,000s for something that has been newly remodeled, the median sales price in this zip code is around $500,000. So it's still pretty affordable for being this close to downtown Austin. And again, we've shifted closer to a buyer's market over here, so lots of opportunity. And the houses here aren't the only thing that make it desirable. One of the best parts of this zip code is the walkability and access to things to do. So aside from Mueller, so many cool little local spots, one of which is right behind me, Hank's. It's a little cafe, restaurant. They have one of the best happy hours and some amazing food. Also, Little Deli Pizzeria, which was up north. They still have a location there, but they opened one here in this neighborhood. So it's super exciting for some great food spots. Bartholomew District Park is in the Windsor Park neighborhood, and it's got pool, splash pad, playgrounds, baseball fields, disc golf, pretty much everything you need to stay active in Austin when, you know, the weather's pretty much amazing year round. Now, I got an opportunity to stand out in the rain today, which is rare in the summer, but told you I was gonna reveal a hidden gem restaurant, and now's the time to do that. So one of the best restaurants you've got to go try. It's a food truck. It's called KG Barbecue, and it's an Egyptian barbecue spot The owner took his own spin on Texas style barbecue. It's got the most unique flavors. You have to go there. They've got lamb chops. They have a brisket shawarma bowl or wrap. I mean, the list goes on with what you can get at this place. It is so good. And one last thing I'll mention is if you want to truly be like a local in the 78723 zip code, you have got to hit up the Mueller Farmers Market, one of the best farmers markets in the Austin area. Every Sunday, that's where everyone hangs out. So the great thing is more restaurants, local shops are popping up left and right. You got close access to I-35, 183. Downtown Austin, the airport are both a breeze from here. So if you want that old Austin feel with the funky coffee shops, breweries, cool local spots, and tons of character minutes to downtown, 78723 is worth a serious look. Alrighty, so we made it over to zip code number 3. We're in the 78681 zip, which is the West Round Rock and Brushy Creek area. So when I say West Round Rock, we're thinking west of I-35. Now this zip code actually does span a pretty wide range. Think down neighborhoods near Cat Hollow, Brushy Creek, all the way up to north of Whitestone/1431. It's got both names, that street, but up into the Mayfield Ranch neighborhood. One great part about this location is that you are just north of the 45 toll road, so easy access if you need to hop on that to go east or west. It also gets to Mopac easily, and we are also very close to Cedar Park and the Avery Ranch neighborhood. So why is this zip code overlooked? Well, a lot of people that move up north, they look at areas like Leander or maybe focus on the east side of Round Rock in neighborhoods like Terra Vista or even Forest Creek. Now, those are great neighborhoods, don't get me wrong, especially Forest Creek, which is definitely very established. It's got a beautiful golf course, so many things to do over there, but there's just a different vibe in the west side of Round Rock in this 78681 zip code. So again, this zip code just feels more established with more mature trees, tons of trails, and really just a completely different vibe. All right, so why is this zip code so desirable? Well, we've got to start with the outdoors. Now, Round Rock is known for having parks. Pretty much every angle, every corner you turn around, there's another park or playground. Matter of fact, over 36 parks in Round Rock as a whole. Now again, remember, we're on the west side of Round Rock, and I wanted to take you over to Cat Hollow Park, which, as you see behind me, there's a pool that's popping off. There's about 1 million kids in that pool right now. Over here, you see a basketball court, tennis court, there's beach volleyball, playgrounds, and you find this all over this area. Now, one of the big selling points for the west side of Round Rock is Round Rock ISD schools. Now, widely known for highly rated schools, we always recommend checking out greatschools.org as a resource for that. But in this area, you got schools such as Deepwood Elementary and Fern Bluff Elementary right here that are 8 out of 10. And if you go a little bit further north to Cactus Ranch, which is near Mayfield Ranch, that's a 10 out of 10 rated school, according to Grade School. So on this side of Round Rock, again, if you want your kid to get a good education, there's a good chance that they're gonna be a highly rated Round Rock ISD school. Now, one other thing to point out, again, with being outside, if you have kids, the Play for All Abilities Park, while it's not in this zip code, it's super close to this area, and it's one of the best little park/playground combos. They have a little racetrack, a little town where your kids can ride bikes through there. We bring our kids, bring our bikes, spend several hours up there. And again, for all abilities, there's a zip line all the way from really little kids up to probably 10 years old. They would have a really good time there. So again, lots to do with kids, but let's talk about adults. Hopefully those of you watching this, you might be moving here looking for a job. Well, being in Round Rock, being up north, you're kind of in the tech hub and so many great access points to the major employers here. Dell, if you're working at Samsung, if you have to go to the Domain, even if you have to work downtown in Austin, you're not super far from that. You're looking at about a 30-minute drive from the 78681 zip code into downtown, sometimes even less than that. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. We don't have just all basic parks here. Check this neighborhood park out. I mean, if I was a kid, I would be going nuts on this thing. There is a little smaller area. There's a huge like climbing bridge, netted bridge over there. Playgrounds like this feel like par for the course when you're in this area of Round Rock. So now that the fun stuff's out of the way, what does it look like if you're going to buy a house in this zip code? Well, when you take a look at the median sales price, it's right around $530,000. And it's really been hovering there over the last year or so. Now, unlike we saw in the previous 2 zip codes in this video that saw this huge boom, this huge spike in inventory, That's unfortunately not the case in the 78681 zip code. However, we're around 4 months of inventory here, which is double from where it was when things were a little bit slower, when inventory was lower, but we're not quite at that peak that we've reached a buyer's market or a buyer's market feel in this area. So understand, if you're buying in this zip code, it's still highly desirable for all the reasons I just shared, and you might not be getting as good of a deal, but rest assured you're landing in a great spot. Also, we talked about the mature trees, the established feel of many of the neighborhoods in here, like Cat Hollow, which we're in now, or in Brushy Creek, Fern Bluff, all of those little pockets. If you want something a little bit newer, you can go up to Mayfield Ranch. Although if you're looking for brand new, there aren't as many options anymore. You're probably looking at something like Saul's Ranch, which is just west of I-35. So beautiful resale homes in here. If you want to land in the 400 to high 600 range, there's plenty of options there. Yes, home prices go way up, especially if you want a much bigger lot, something super updated. But being at that median price of around $530,000 is tough to beat when you consider all the perks you get from moving over here. So maybe you're moving here for a tech job, or you just want the excellent schools, parks, playgrounds, pools, everywhere you turn. Well, the 78681 zip code might be the one for you. All right, there you have it. 3 zip codes that are not on everyone's radar, but probably should be on yours. If you're looking for that incredible value, local charm, and just a great lifestyle, these 3 zip codes might be the ones for you. If you're making that move to Austin, you need help, you need guidance, we'd love for you to reach out to our team. All you gotta do is reach out to the contact info below. We hope this video is helpful. We'll catch you on the next one.